Alright guys, I think I have everything set up. I'm a little late today. Why? Because today I just have poor time management skills, guys. Sometimes I'm on time, other times not on time. But it's okay. The good news is we're starting. And we're not that late, you know? I've been later before, right? Alright, let's get these paints open. Guten Abend, Gecko! How's it going? Faulty, welcome back! How you guys doing? Happy Wednesday. Also, did I say Thursday earlier? I hope I said Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? I think it's Wednesday, chat. It's a day, that's all that matters. It is a day. Alright, brushes. Ich kann heute nicht so viel schreiben, weil ich beschäftigt bin, aber ich schaue zu. I can't chat much today, because I'm busy, but I'm watching. Sounds good, Gecko. No worries. Exhausted, but doing alright. Oh man. Well, I hope you can get some proper rest soon, Maltsy. I feel like the weekend is too far away. Alright, chat. Let me readjust my chair here. Hopefully I don't end up shaking the whole desk. Or knocking over water. Which I have done before, chat. I have done it. But I don't want to do it today. Alright. I think we need a game plan, like last week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. Let me think. Alright, you know what? I think what we're gonna do. Baby woke up 3 times last night and it's been rough today. LOL. Oh man. Yo, going without sleep is the worst. I don't know how you're holding up. I could never do that. Oh my gosh, I'd be exhausted. I'm like one of those people that need like 8 hours of sleep or more, like all together. It cannot be broken up. So man, respect. Guys, I'm like, I'm not a nice person when I'm tired. Guys, I want to show you something. Let me get these images to show you, which is part of my game plan for these trees, which were part of the issue when we ended stream last night. Okay, so these pictures I pulled off Pinterest and they don't have like tagged who painted them. So I don't know. If you guys know who the artist is, let me know in chat. But I found him on Pinterest. I've cried a few times today already. It's fine. Everything is fine. He's finally napping, so I'm ready for chill art vibes. Yo, let's go then. I'm hope that we can keep this. Let's keep this stream chill. I'm hoping that I won't end up crying. Because these trees have been a problem. Alright, chat. So here's what I'm thinking. I pulled these pictures off of Pinterest because I really like the way they painted the trees. And these artists use oils, but what I'm learning with the gouache is that we can kind of work in a similar way with the way we can build up layers. And so I was like, okay, let me check out some like impressionistic style oil paintings that I really like. So I went to trusty old Pinterest, right? And I found some photos that I really liked how they simplified the tree branches. So in this one, they actually had the reference with it, which is great. So you can see really high detail, similar to what we got going, right? But look how beautifully they simplified these branches. Really, really just like loose and kind of like abstract. It's absolutely beautiful. My phone screen's making it look brighter than it is. It is not this bright. So don't look at the values, guys, but look at the shapes. I'm thinking this is the strat. And we almost have it going here. There is an artist. I'll see if I can find it at the end of the stream that I've been following for a couple years who paints very similarly to this style. This may have been one of his paintings. I'll see if I can find him later. And then also this one I grabbed. this one, look how beautiful that is. You can see the brushwork. This is why I love oils, guys. Oh. But I think we can do something similar. I also love, look at these like little patches of like red and orange in here. Kind of gives it that like pop of color along with the green. I feel like our reference photo is probably very similar to theirs. So I think we can, I kind of like this like red we got going in here. I think we need to play with that more. And then, let's see here. I picked out one more. This one's a little bit more like rendered down. But still, like, if you zoom into the brushwork, it's really like simplified, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I think we need to figure out how to simplify these, you know? And then I am hoping that works. Gute Idee, diese Bäume sind wirklich eine gute Vorlage. Oh, Gecko, I don't know Vorlage, but I think I can guess what you said by the rest of the sentence. But yeah. Oh, is it like, shoot, I know Vorlage, guys. Guys, my German's cooked. A good reference. Reference. All right, chap. Thank you, Gecko, for the translation. I'm not sure I actually know that word. That's a new one for me. Do. All right, what do I need, chat, before we start? We need paints. I also remembered to bring the hydrating paint. Yeah, but back to the trees. I do think they'll be a good reference. Anytime I'm unsure with a painting, I try to look for artists that, one, inspire me, or like two, I look up to their art style and I want to like be able to do something similar. And then I try and look for like subject reference they painted that's similar to mine, so in this case trees. And then, you know, just try and figure out how I can use some of their techniques along with my own style to try and capture what I'm struggling with. All right, so I'll put my rag here, I think. Actually, no, because that's near my keyboard. We do not want to get that wet. Let me scoot this over to the left a little bit here. Very gently, so I don't dump it over. Alrighty, we got our water. Let's get some more paints out here. So let me pull up the reference again. See what we can do about this. Scoot this over a little bit more. Why am I always running out of space, guys? Alright, that should be good. This is casting a shadow. I got all my brushes here. Also remembered to bring the palette knife this time. So we're at a good start. I'm gonna put that over here. I don't need it right now. Maybe this though. And what brushes? I think I'm gonna treat this kind of like oils. Let's use this brush. I feel like it's got rounded edges, but we can also make some good strong marks with it that won't be too detailed. All right, reference. Reference. All right, I got it pulled up on my PC. You guys can see the one I have there. Very good. All right. Trees. We're gonna do it. Also, I want to add some more like dark greens into the water. I feel like I think it's a little too bright blue. Also toying with doing like another wash of dark paint, kind of just in like this section. And we need to work on these waves over here because they look like they're somehow like crashing downwards, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's not like a cave there, you know? So we gotta think about that. And then what else? I guess just branches. Hey, Mustard! Welcome! Happy Wednesday! We're gonna do this thing today. I was just showing chat some reference images. Also, my brush is dirty apparently. Some reference images of other artists who painted trees. And let me show you. This is kind of what we're gonna try to do. So here was their reference, and then here's what they painted. This is darker in real life, guys, but the concept is there, you know? So we're gonna try and do that with these trees. And we're gonna see what happens. I should leave that up on my phone. Chat, I should have charged my phone. It's got like 15% left. And you know what else we're gonna do, guys? We need to like rework this guy a little. So we're definitely gonna have to do that. But you know, let's just do it. Also, I think I'm gonna wet some of my paints here. Put a little water on them. Just to get them a little more workable. If that's even a word. There's like no yellow paint left here. It's pretty much just green. We're gonna have to work on that too. Work on cleaning the palette. Alright, but trees first. Let's add in some more of those like warmer oranges. I'm kind of liking that for our like background fill for the trees. Because the trunks are pretty much that shade too. And then we'll do some greens in with it, I think. Maybe we can use this section. Let me clean this up a little bit here. We don't really want to gray it out. We got to keep these colors vibrant. Alright, that should be fine. Oh, it looks like I have some nice yellow here, actually. That's good. Let's get some red in there. I can make that a little more strong. Alright, here we go. I'm a little scared, but we're gonna do it. Let's get rid of this guy here. And that palette knife. Alright, looking at our little reference here. You know what? I think we need to break up the branch shapes a little bit so it's not so... It doesn't need to be as tight as the reference. We can give it a little more breathing room, you know? Wenn man diese Bäume zuerst sieht, denkt man, kein Problem, das sind ja einfach nur Bäume, aber dann sind sie doch echt schwierig zu malen. That is so true, Gecko. They do look simple, and then you start to paint them, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what is even happening here? Like, how do you even paint a tree? Guys, surprisingly, I really need to pull down this old painting I did, like, I think 6 years ago. I need to pull it out and show you guys. It was one of my first oil paintings. Yeah, actually it was. I want to say it's maybe my second one I've ever painted outside of like a class I took. And I had the darndest time with the trees. And it was a very similar problem where I just wasn't sure how to paint them. And you know what's ironic is I still don't know. So I think what we do, guys, for the next month or so is just paint tree after tree until we've conquered it. Because, you know, I'm tired of these trees deciding if my painting is good or not. You know what I mean? I've got things I want to paint, and I don't want trees stopping me. You know what I mean? Alright, so our trees are a bit different shaped than, you know, the ones that they took. Their branches kind of like hung down, where ours are actually kind of like upward and blowing this direction because the wind's coming off the coast there. So let's try and see if we can depict that motion, but not go too crazy. Also, I don't know if I'm gonna worry too much about painting in, like, the stems on these trees are so tiny. Like, I would need, they're practically like the width of a pencil. So I think rather than painting them in, which is probably a mistake here, except for maybe this section, I might just say, you know what? Let's just leave it out. We're just gonna mass in this grouping here. And simplify it all into one big shape if we can do that. Yeah, not drawing. Well, drawing too, chat, actually. Drawing trees is also hard. Drawing, painting them. It's like we see them every day, but it's kind of funny how sometimes the more organic something is, the harder it is to, or at least for me anyway, the harder it is to, you know, capture that. I think it's because we're always chasing perfection. And the issue is that trees are not perfect. They're actually very, very organic. Maybe that's why they're especially challenging for me, because, you know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, guys. This is good. This is a good base. I think we're gonna be headed in the right direction. I should have plugged my phone in. All right, well, we'll plug it in a second. Because I should probably step away from this in a bit anyway. Try and capture that movement. And then we're gonna go back in with more of this like white spacing, like the sky around it, I think. I think that's the strat. There's just so many branches going on here. Let's see if we can, it's like they come up, but then they kind of dance down this direction. Oh, hold up. Chat, are we onto something? Just giving it a little bit of that direction, you know what I mean? Also, I feel like I'm losing my voice. What's happening to me? It's too soon in the week for me to lose my voice. I'm only just starting streaming for the week. All right, let's do these little guys here. Yeah, this kind of comes down more than that we got painted here originally. Yeah, they kind of come up. These are like little bush plants here. I don't know what type of, they're not a tree. Some type of shrub. One of like the most fun parts about going somewhere like different than where you live, like if the terrain and everything like changes enough, is like seeing what plants kind of grow in that area. Even just comparing like here on the East Coast to like the Midwest, it's interesting to see just the difference in like what trees grow more abundantly in different places and then which ones don't. It's kind of interesting. I'm gonna bring this down into here a little bit. I like these reds. Kind of tie this all in together. This looks so much darker for me in real life. I think if I got like a better light over by this desk, it wouldn't be a big of an issue. So we need to work on getting a light, guys. All right, so these ones are kind of blowing that way too. Maybe we need to be thinking about like the direction of our brush strokes, because I feel like that's really important when you're doing impressionistic style painting. Granted, this one's not super impressionistic, but it's borderline. It's almost there. It looks like I'm learning how to do that style while I'm painting it, which is actually not wrong. I am learning. All right, that seems good. Now we're gonna switch to, I think we need to switch to some greens. Build those up as well. All right, we're gonna need very warm greens. I'm just gonna use this here because this needs cleaned out anyway. Let's get this paint nice and wet right here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more green to it. And a little bit of this like phthalo green we got going here. Might as well just use both of these little color wells because that one's empty too. Now, chat, I could be wrong, but I think I remember hearing that gouache paints dry darker than what you see, and watercolors I know dry lighter. So maybe that's something that like too I'm trying to get used to, because when I paint with watercolors I'm always expecting it to end up lighter, but now I need to anticipate that it's going to get darker. So for me this green looks a little bright, but you know what, I bet it's going to end up probably just right by the time we get it in here, you know? Hopefully it does. Because chat, that's a bit bright. That's a bit bright for what I wanted, but you know what? We're gonna do it. Let's take a little bit of that water off my brush. We're definitely gonna have to add some We're gonna have to add a wee bit of sky back into this tree because we definitely took a bit too much out. It's a little too transparent. I don't know if this is a technique, but what if I just add some more white to it? The white seems like it's good for transparency issues. Because, you know, yellows can always be so transparent. Alright, but we need a little... Now we need a little more yellow in it. A little bit still here on the side. It's times like these, guys, that I really miss my like perfect color picker on Photoshop. Low-key feels like cheating. Alright, we gotta put it on the brush thick, I guess. Half the challenge is getting everything applied to the surface. You know what I mean? Just trying to imagine these groupings of light that we're seeing here. Big one here. We got a little bit in this section. And then up here on the top. Well, it's not looking fantastic yet. I don't know if we fully rescued this. That's alright. I'm gonna add a little bit here into the ground. Just because I feel like we need to lighten up this section a little bit. Yeah, a little in here. And a bit in there. Just touch the tops of some of this. A little bit of shrubbery we got growing over here. Don't want to go too much. All right. Let me reevaluate. Well, I can English reevaluate. There we go. I gotta work on my enunciation. We need to do a little bit here, but I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow to this chat. Where's my? Oh, here it is. Let's clean that off my palette knife. I really don't want to add that much. I probably should have cleaned that off first. Alright, that just gives us a little bit more oranginess to it. Yeah, so there's almost like little sprigs growing in here. Yeah, I need to switch brushes, guys. Kind of just the tops of these bushes. really have any light to it. All right, not bad, but not quite done. I just like this area needs a little definition, you know what I mean? Let me cut off my brush here. Now maybe we need to reestablish some of this. I haven't tried too much, like with watercolors, I'm used to being able to do like washes. Can I do something similar? Can I do something similar with gouache? I'm really not sure. We'll see if it picks up from the canvas too much. But I'd really like to take some of this yellow here and just kind of glaze over top. Guys, I think it's working. We just have to dilute it enough. Yeah, because some of these areas have like a nice, really nice, warm tone to it. Let's grab this edge here. And down in this section. And there we go. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Just gotta bring more color into it, you know? Because I don't want to be too timid. Chat, I really just want to finish this piece so I can move on to like one I enjoy more. But I also don't like the idea of being like unhappy with it. Like I want to finish it and be like, you know, I did my best, but I feel like I'm not there yet, you know? So we gotta do better. Get a little bit more yellow into here. Oh, that looks nice. But you know what's not nice is that I'm losing my voice. Guys, what is happening to me? Let me get a drink. All right, I'm hydrated. Hopefully that helps. I'm always so impressed when people can paint actual things like objects and landscapes. I pretty much only paint geometric patterns, very clean straight lines. Organic scares me. Yo, it scares me too, Waltzy. Like, it's not easy. Although, I have a hard time doing like geometric type shapes too, though. So that sounds hard to me. That's pretty cool. Those kind of things are so satisfying to look at. I love the like geometric pattern type art and like surface design. I love that kind of stuff. Let's add a little bit of let's add a little pop of color to these like edge transitions here, I think. I think we can do that with this red here. We try and keep it nice and clean. Well, that might be a bit much, but we can soften that later. Actually, you know, I think I like it. Maybe we need to do that with the trees too. Guys, am I just being too timid with color? Like maybe I just need to go for it. Also, guys, I was trying to remember today, like, when did I start streaming? Was that the beginning of this year or was that the year before? I think was it December? I was trying to remember because I was like, I think I should do something for my like 1 year stream anniversary. I think I used to stream on like Tuesdays, like Monday and Tuesday. I don't know. I briefly did some more illustrative watercolor cartoon birds at one point. Oh my gosh, that sounds fun. Yo, that does sound fun. Cartoon styles are hard though. I feel like drawing birds are really fun though, because you can really mess with like a bird's proportions and like stylize them. So that sounds fun. All right, let's layer in a little bit more of these values. Guys, did the music end? I think the music did stop. We gotta restart our track here. The north wind blew fiercely. Oh, it does. They were really simple, very round and chunky. Oh, that sounds so cute. Hi guys, it's the wind. Yo, the wind, what's up? Our music just stopped, so I gotta run it back and play it again. Let's hit it with the ender. I feel like this track has fun energy to it. Alrighty. Alright, let's darken the ocean and then we're gonna do something with the sky behind these trees and plants here. I don't know what yet, but we're gonna do something. Where's Gecko? Gecko is here. But they said that they were a little bit busy, so they can watch, but they're not gonna be able to type as much. And this little tree trunk in here. Add a little bit more shape into this. Alright, that's probably good enough. Alright, let me clean my brush. Why am I still holding the palette knife? I don't know. Alright guys, we need to do something with the ocean. And I wanted to add more greens, so let's see if we can add more green to the ocean. Thinking like dark greens? What about like this? This could be nice. Like in this section. Because this is really like a blue, green. We also need to readjust some of this part here so it looks a little bit more natural. And a little bit there. Oh yeah, the village thing I was working on. So the outer and inner walls, the gates, and all that stuff is done, and I finished the main tower of the village. Yo, let's go. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, I think last week you were telling me about you made like redstone gates that like open when the sun comes up and then closes when the sun goes down. Like, that's pretty cool. Alright, chat, the good thing with this color is it's really transparent, so I'm thinking we're going to be able to see the layers underneath while just doing a little bit of value and color shifting here. And then we'll have to go back in with some lighter later. But I think this is going to work. We can build it up. I think that's the strat. We just keep building the layers, you know? So I'm technically done with everything, and yes, whoa, congratulations. That sounds like a big project. Yeah, guys, I think this is working. How proud, this is like a study in painting rocks, trees, and water. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself. So do you have any plans to make any other new Minecraft projects? You're already planning your next build? I feel like there's so many things to do in Minecraft. You could build anything. Let's add a little bit more green in here. We do need to work on like, this is too blue in here. This needs to be a little bit more. I think like almost want to put red in here because we're getting a bit of this reflection here of this rock kind of coming into the wave area. And I want to just add that back in. We got a little too blue in the shadows. That's all right. We might mix a blue that kind of blend with this in here. Let's do a little bit darker now. That needs to be wetter. More wet. There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice. So it's like a nice blue-green. Yes, I'm working on it right now. I plan to go to a different that I focus on in the nether. Oh, in the nether, and add sidewalls. We're looking to just stay the walls of the nether and also kind of float above the lava lakes. Whoa, that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. You know, I never built anything in the nether. I feel like I should have done that. I need to like broaden my Minecraft building horizons. I'm also darkening this up a little bit, guys. It's gonna get pretty dark in here. Yeah, this feels better color, more like green blue, you know? I love this song. It sounds so like kind of like adventure-y, but with like nostalgia to it. I don't know how to explain it. Just tap in a little bit darkness in there. I almost wonder if I want to make the coastline up here, like this horizon line, just a little bit darker. Let's wet our brush. Kind of blend that in. Just kind of play with where our highlights are and where our shadows are. There we go. All right, let's add the sky back in. We're gonna need a really, really clean spot. Let's use this lid here. This should work. Also, I'm gonna switch to a more angular brush, not with these sides. Let's do, I think this one. Yeah, I think we'd used this one before. I plan to add some small towers on the walls of the nether to be the outposts. Ooh, and then a larger tower to be closed gates themselves. I also plan to add cracks and chunks plus fire in the walls. Whoa, so it's like a crumbling civilization. That sounds fun. That's gonna be a lot of like detail work. That sounds like a neat project though. Yeah, I love when I love doing like kind of like landscaping in Minecraft. to kind of like make the, you know, like the hills and everything look really like natural. I don't know why, but it's really like satisfying to do. It's probably because like Minecraft is so like, everything's so angular, you know, because it's all blocks. So it's like fun to try and force that like organic nature into your builds. It always looks so cool. All right, that's pretty clean. I think we'll start with blue and work our way down. Let's do it. Oh, where is my paintbrush? Here it is. I believe I used this blue, didn't I, guys? Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure. It's pretty subtle blue. May have added too much. No, that should be good. Alright, let me pull up my little tree reference here real quick. We gotta watch and make sure we use our guide properly and try and mimic what they did. But also, okay. Alright, I gotta lock it in, guys. Maybe we need to go about making these, the little holes in the sky, like, bigger, you know? Like, I wonder if I'm just being too timid. And it's not gonna look exactly like the reference. I think I need to accept that, too. I feel like I said this on another stream, but I was like, sometimes doing a painting is like going through the stages of grief, because it's like you have expectations in your mind what you wanted it to look like, and then you have what it looks like. Not always exactly what you wanted, you know? There we go. I'm using the reference a little, but I'm trying to imagine that like anywhere I see the light come through, that there's actually a bigger space than what's really there. And then hopefully we can kind of convey that feeling. We also do want to keep in the illusion that like the trunk is kind of like here, so we're not trying to get our white paint too close to there. Little abstract lighting points here. Oh guys, this is actually kind of looking cool. Alright, I just have to be really... I have to be really gentle. Not go too far, but also give it enough. And I'm just kind of like dabbing in the paint really, really thick. I think that's gonna be the best way we can kind of get these shapes in here. And you know, guys, I kind of wonder if we should do like pick a landscape that has just trees, or maybe like the tree is the focal point. That might be kind of fun. Like just do a tree series, like a happy little tree series. I don't know. Nothing is safe from Minecraft's version of hell anyways. Piglin bastions in the game are torn apart and destroyed, while nether fortresses are abandoned and left unchecked. True. Nothing is safe in the nether. Yeah, the nether is like so chaotic. That's probably why I never built in there, because it always stresses me out. But like, it's a cool location. I like the nether bricks, like the red bricks. I really like building with those. I feel like they had a fun pop of color. I actually decided I'm gonna trim that top of the tree. I feel like I'm doing like tree trimming while I paint this, guys. Because like I'm really deciding what gets to stay and what's gotta go. Got this nice little patch of light in here. I almost think we need to go back in with a little more darker paint, you know what I mean? Oops. Smear that so it dries. It's gonna take a bit to it's gonna take a bit. I need to go. I can try to come back if I take another break on my assignment. Sounds good. The wind. Bye. Thanks for stopping by and tell me about your Minecraft projects. Hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday and best of luck with your assignments. We'll probably just still be painting trees when you come back, so not sure that you'll be missing too much, guys. It's just the never-ending tree struggle. I'm gonna add a little more blue into my paint. Alright, let's try and blend this out. We'll leave the trees for now. Add a little bit more water. Alright, that should be good for now. Boom. Alright, now it looks like we have clouds up here, which we don't, so we gotta fix that. There aren't actually clouds there. So we're gonna need some more white paint. And we're gonna need a little bit of, you know, let me grab just a bit here. And then we'll transition down into that red. I love how like I've just moved on to different palettes at this point because I refuse to properly clean one of mine. I wouldn't recommend building this habit, guys. But here I am doing it. Maybe we can mix it in a little bit here. And now we're gonna need some red. A little bit more red. Get a little bit more vibrant with it down here. And then we slowly transition into a purple. Which I made a bit stronger purple than it really needs to be. But I like the purple contrast against these warm rocks in the front. So I think we're gonna roll with that. Alright, so I think I did this blue, and I want to say I used this red here. Might not be a bad thing if this was a bit darker. Let's see how this looks, chat. It needs to be more purple. Alright, that's perfect. I probably didn't mix enough, but see if we can fix this horizon line too while we're at it. We gotta blend into this white here a little bit. Alright, let's see what we can do about kind of this in here. I think my brush is a little wet. We'll be able to blend this gently. Ooh, I don't know if that was a good play. Don't know if I should have done that. Let's work this upwards just a little bit. Because really, honestly, the sky is not that blue. I'm gonna mix these shades up in here. Hopefully we didn't just ruin it. Alright, we're gonna let those... Probably let the trees be for a bit. Let's work on the water some more. Also, chat, is it time to... Oh, I just dropped my rag. There we go. Is it time to do this little plant that's in this section? You guys see up on the reference? I feel like I've ignored it for way too long. Or by putting in the plant, maybe we should wait till the very end. I just don't know. I kind of worry about it kind of throwing off the perspective. I'm trying to imagine it here. Originally, I liked the idea, but I'm not sure if I'm like really into it anymore. Because I do, again, like our focus needs to be, it needs to be that space up there with the rocks. Oh, I got paint on my fingers. Let's just add a little bit highlight down these rocks. It's gonna be really subtle, but I do feel like they need a wee bit of detail to kind of help us see this shape that's down here. Like what is happening with this rock, you know? Alright, I'm gonna grab... Hold on, let me look at the reference. I think this section still needs darker. Well, hold up. Let me stand straight up and look at my reference. Problem is, in like my camera feed, guys, this water here, this value, and this rock are like so different, right? But if I look at it in real life, the values are really close actually between these two rocks. And I'm not sure that I want to mess with that when I really, really look at it. I don't think I will. Maybe I should stand up while I paint. Like, we don't want to ruin a good thing. You know what I mean? Just gonna lighten up this section just a little bit here. And we need to go a little bit darker in this section down here. There we go. Because this rock kind of comes like this. Oh, I'm locked in, guys. Sorry, I'm getting like really quiet because I'm hyper focused. It's like I want these shadowed areas to have a little bit more depth to them, you know? But we don't want to go too crazy. We gotta be subtle with it. Yeah, I think this area down here probably needs darkened. I'm gonna get rid of some of that blue. And then I'm gonna make a very dark but also cool green, I'm thinking. Let's see what we can do down here with this. We desaturated. This seems good, but it needs to be a little bit lighter. Got a little bit of white there we can mix in. Oh, that's a bit bright. That's not what we want. Although this color might be nice for just touching some of these edges in here that are technically lighter, but they're really not too bright. Let me grab a clean brush. I just kind of want to drag that a little bit. There we go. And like, I don't know, guys. I feel this section down here. I think we can build a little bit more depth there. But then we need to darken a little bit, not a ton. This section here. There we go. All right, let's go back to the water issue we have here. The never-ending issue with the water. After I fix this rock. It's kind of just how I paint though, guys. I just kind of bounce around, picking one issue to the next and then trying to correct it. I think we could go a little darker in this section up here. Just add a little more of a brown to it. Just lighten that edge a little bit there. This could be a bit darker. There we go. Chat, it helps to stand, but like it hurts your back because you're looking like straight down. And darken us up a little bit here. I don't want to go too much into these trees. The trees that I just fixed. And end up ruining them again. just want to make this like rock section in here a little bit. Give it a little bit more character, I think. Maybe we'll add... No, this is right. So it kind of comes up. It's almost like a mix between the orange, the red, and then there's like a purple in there. Just increase this shadow just a little bit. Pop that edge forward on that one rock. We'll see how this looks once it dries, because I know that's going to change. It's going to change it a bit. Crease this edge up here. There we go. You know what, guys? There's actually it's a slightly lighter section. Kind of comes out here before it really goes down into that rock area there. So I think we need to bring that back. And be good and clean my brush like I'm supposed to before I switch colors. Let's add a little more of that. I'm gonna have a slightly more peachy tone to it. All right, let's see what we can do here. That seems good. Another thing I'm seeing here, though, darken it down just a little bit, but I feel like, yeah, there we go. Just needed a little lighter there. And then I'm gonna go back to this. Just redefine some of that edge. All right, so the water. What's the water need, guys? I think... the water. The water is the never-ending problem for me. I feel like we need to work on the direction of it. Let's mix a, like a green blue. That's lighter. Get some water in here. This should help. Some more green blue. Just a little bit more. There we go, that's pretty. Actually pretty green. Alright, so I'm gonna try and pay attention to kind of these light sections. And I'm kind of just gonna choose, I think I'm gonna pick and choose the waves that I like and the ones that I don't like. Get a big splash of water up here. And kind of back here as well. Since we decided not to put that plant in, I think we gotta be careful about how much attention we draw this area, but I also want it to be noticeable. Like, it's there. I feel like it's helping do a little bit of framing, you know what I mean? Framing's important too. This time I need to pay more attention to the direction of the water. The water is really kind of like sitting in around here. And we can also, I think, reshape some of these rocks here. Give them a little more personality, I think. And then a little bit down here. Get a little bit of light back in this section. Yeah, this is where it's drying already, so I don't think we're going too crazy. I think we're doing this pretty subtle. Alright, we gotta bring out a little bit of the water that's kind of rushing in here. I bet it's got a little bit better motion to it. Let's add a little bit more water coming up there on that edge. About here. Alright, now we need to go a little bit dark. Be a little bit lighter. I feel like we're using white paint really quickly. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it, but we do need to establish some of these spots where the water is, you know, crashing up onto the rocks. This one's not quite as bright, but I think it'll work out because the paint's still wet down here. Try and clean my brush a little bit. That's probably good enough. So the trees. Oh, the trees. What do we want to do with these trees? I'm not sure what I want to do with the tree situation. I think I want to do more on the water, though. Got a slightly cooler shade in here. We might have to go back in and add in some of our shadow areas. That seems good for now. Bro, every time these bots come into my chat, get out of here. There we go. What a pain. Okay. Because then I get distracted, guys. I gotta lock it in. Maybe we should add actually some like, maybe some more gold into the grass up here. Also, I feel like I butchered the sky. Like, I don't think it's quite finished. I ruined it. Nor. Sorry, we'll work on it. I fix one thing and I break the other. I kind of like these subtle like color shifts we have going here. Try and blend those in. You know, I think when we go back and we work on the sky, we need to use a bigger brush. Because I did not blend it. I did not blend it enough. You make that a little bit darker. Alright, probably good for now. Clean that brush. Alright, so for the sky, maybe we can use some of these blues we already have mixed up here. Let's use this brush here. I think we're gonna have to be quick with it. That's gonna be the key. It's also what's gonna make it hard. Alright, let me think. Let's mix some of the sky blue back. Alright, that helps soften things down a little bit. I feel like Bob Ross now. Alright, let's clean this off. Chad, I need to get clean paint water. Or just clean water. But the problem is the paint, you know? Because right now my water's like super gray. Alright, just clean this brush a little bit here. And get a little bit more white. Let's mix it in with that there. Yeah, that's a nice. Well, it doesn't look very pink for you guys, but you guys gotta trust me. I don't think it's gonna gray it out too much. Try and tap that color in here over these whites that we put in, so it blends it just a little bit more. Because we're having a little bit of a harmony problem here. Let's blend that upwards. I mean, it's gonna pick up, we're picking up some of the paint from underneath the canvas. We just have to make sure we're doing it in a way that's appealing and not muddy. I gotta be careful here what I'm doing. Yeah, there went all my clean water. Alright, that seems pretty good, guys. We might need to grab... Oh, where did I put it? Oh, there went one of my brushes. Oh, fell off the other chair. Okay, I'll get that later. That's a later problem. A little more purple. There we go. We're gonna go back in a little darker with these trees in a bit, so I think it's all right if we end up graying out some of this lighter areas in here. If I can just get these trees to where I'm satisfied, we may just call this painting done. But it's not there yet. Alright, so I'm thinking here, like in this section, we should probably give it a little more love and attention, which I have not done. Because there's some rocks in here. There's some more color. There's a little fuzz from my brush on my paper. There we go. There's some things going on in here. There are some details, but I don't want to go crazy with them because this isn't a huge area of focus. But we should give it a little bit of attention. I was saying we need to lighten this up just a hair. Very, very small amount. Because there's some rocks down here that are catching a little bit of light. Not a lot of light. But enough. It sounds like our music ended, chat. I'll have to run it back. I feel like that last song is so peaceful. Actually, I'm noticing there's a little plant growing on here. A little bit of grass kind of growing in that section there. And we can kind of gray this out as we go. And blend it in. Subtle. Gives us a little bit of depth in there, but not too much. All right, music. Music. I think I need to take this small brush here. Oh, not drop it. But like, this section here is too. There we go. Try and blend those together a little bit. Do, 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 do. Probably should have thought more about these transitions before I went ahead and like painted all these little spots for the sky in here. But it is what it is, right? We already did it. We committed to that change. Just lift that a little bit there. Let's grab. Thinking like this green. I gotta be really subtle with this. We have to be very selective about what we darken here, because we just did a beautiful job of kind of lightening this up. There we go. And just try and follow the dark spots we already have. Kind of established. Probably went a little too far there. No. Let's see this little tree here. You can probably go back in with a little bit of reds on this one, not gonna lie. Probably could have given that one a little bit more attention. Alright, let's grab that red then. I feel like this tree is so ugly. I don't know what to do. I'm tired of reshaping it, chat. I don't want to do it again. I feel like there's another important lesson we can learn today, guys. And by we, I mean me. I need to let this painting go. I think it's time to say goodbye to it. It's time to say, I tried my best, but my best was a little bit lower than my anticipation. And maybe another time we'll try to paint this again after we do a little practice and we get better at painting trees. Because you can only take a painting so far before you really start to hate it. And I think I'm reaching that point, chat. I'm reaching that point where I'm like, there is nothing about this painting that is That's sparking much joy in my heart. I'm doing this for fun. So, you know, I'm doing something wrong if it's not fun. Yeah, let's just finish up anywhere where we need greenery and call it. And we'll start a new one. We're gonna do a study just for trees. You know, painting's kind of like a video game in the sense where, like, you're not always gonna be ready to fight that boss, you know? Sometimes you gotta work your way up to it by fighting the smaller bosses. In this case, we need to paint some smaller trees. And then come back to this one. Sometimes even how, like, you start a painting can be another factor into why it didn't turn out. You know, maybe I wasn't careful enough when I started, you know, trying to plot in the base of everything. And then sometimes maybe I was too careful. It's really hard to know what exactly was the reason it didn't work. Just want a little bit darker in there. All right, let's do something with this rock over here. I might do something to the water that I'm gonna regret, chat. But I think I'm gonna do it anyway. I think I'm gonna do it anyway because it's just not, it's not giving water to me. I mean, it looks like water, but it doesn't look like water. Just massing some little shrubby plants over here. Yep, good enough. We need to do the same over here. Let's grab a little white paint. I'm just gonna dab it off there. I'm thinking these are gonna end up drying, hopefully darker. I feel like this song's giving like goodbye song vibes, which is good because we're saying goodbye to this painting pretty soon. Which is the plan. I'm done with it. That's pretty good neutral yellow there. Do you want it to have slightly more this orangey tone to it though? It's not even enough to change it. I don't know. It's happened a little bit of this. value shift there. Now we can tap it in here too. Just some little indications of plant life in here that might be catching those very last rays of light. Some of these are more green up here. There we go. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more yellow. I'm just gonna hit the very warmest parts of the grass with a little bit of that. And I think I'm actually just gonna, I know I shouldn't do this, chat, but I think I'm just gonna like go over the water and maybe just, I don't know, cover it. I know maybe I shouldn't do that, but I just don't like the water. I feel like the values aren't right. Wow, it looks amazing. Thank you, Mustard. Yeah, I think we're about to wrap this one up. I was toying with the idea of doing a third day with it, but I think we're gonna say it's done because it's starting to drive me crazy. Like, I can't do it anymore. This painting is costing my soul. It's good enough. Guys, I feel like I'm like locked in though today. I think it's because I know I have to like finish this thing. So sorry if I'm not as chatty today. Which might be a nice thing. You know, depending on the vibes you're looking for. But I'm like, I gotta finish this thing. I just want it to be done. Just darken that down a little bit there. I think I went a little too bright with it. It'll be interesting for you guys to see what this looks like to my own eyes, because the camera is making it so much brighter than it actually is. Alright, now I'm gonna commit ocean crime and pretty much paint over the whole ocean. I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I really don't like it, and I think it just needs a whole wash to kind of settle in some of these colors. There we go. Alright, where is my ginormous brush? There it is. This could be a terrible idea. Alright, we're gonna need blue. We're gonna need a lot of blue. Let's mix it in with all this here. Oops. Is that a light? No, that's light blue. That belongs over there. And I'm gonna add a little purple to it. Not purple, but red, but you guys know what I'm doing here. Alright, here goes nothing. A little better. Alright, let's grab this cobalt blue here. We're gonna leave it like that. That's it. I think that's where we're gonna leave it. So we're gonna leave it, chat. This feels like the most uneventful end to a really big painting ever. Sometimes it do be like that though, you know? It's just underwhelming and you're like, huh, well, yeah, that was the thing. And now it's over. Let's just get a little bit of ocean reflection in here. Add a little bit more red. That's slightly orange to that in here. Just want to give that shaded area in there a little bit more of that reflection color. Here we go. Call that good enough. I'm thinking trees. That's what I'm thinking. Next painting is gonna be just trees, trees, and trees. We're gonna be doing landscapes for the foreseeable future. Until we get this down. Until I'm like, oh, this landscape, I'm not scared to do it. And then I just do it, you know? Like, I want to feel really confident again. Like, once upon a time, I was good. But I've gotten rusty. I'm not as confident as I used to be because I wasn't doing it. But the good news is, you know, you learn something once, odds are you can learn it again. And hopefully faster. I'm on my fine art painting art again. So it's gonna be fun kind of seeing what this new era of painting brings me. This rock just feels awkward for me. I don't know why. Maybe we need to put some... Do we put some plant life in front of it? Alright, this could be dangerous, but we're gonna do it. I think I'm gonna stick in that branch that I said I wasn't going to. We're gonna do it. Question is, do we stick in this other one? Bro, this feels a lot like Bob Ross at this point. All right, everybody, hold your breath. Here we go. Question is, do we take it all the way from the top? What y'all think? Because it goes above like the horizon line. It's risky. It's risky. We're gonna do it. Just gonna do it. Try and be really light with my brush here. We try to make these little branches. I think what we're seeing here is the top of like a little cedar tree that's growing. It's just kind of doing his thing. Throw the way my hands are trying to very lightly paint this in. All right. That's pretty good. Let's add another one in here. Actually, you know, I think it adds something to it. It's not terrible. I do kind of like this one that's bending this way a bit more. The key with these little wispy branches to keep your hand really, really loose on and light, because we do not want to be painting in too thick of branches like I just did there. Whoops. Oh well. We're committed, chat. We are committed. Let's grab some greens and a little bit of green in here. Let's just spice it up a little bit. The ends of these branches. Let's grab some of that phthalo green we had before. I like that. All right, I say probably done with that. I have a few more of these scraggly little branches coming up here. We're just gonna fake some of this foreground here. Not exactly what was there, but I like to think that's how it was. Which makes me think we need to put maybe just a couple over on this side. Just to give a little bit more framing. Maybe some are overlapping each other. Chat, I like it. Despite everything, I like it. You know, this painting had its ups and downs, a lot of downs. But it feels good to be like pretty much done with it, you know? Be like this. This is all she wrote. Maybe I could try pulling this out into some better lighting for you guys in a second. Give you a final look before stream is over. I'm just gonna go in and shift that edge just a little bit. There we go, I like that better. Seems good there. One thing I'm still not quite satisfied is this like rock edge here. I think we need to define the edge of this rock a little bit better here. So we understand that it's sloping upwards quite a bit here. That helps a bit. Kind of help define that. All right, looking at it again. What do we got to do? Well, we got to sign it. I think we're just gonna say it's done though. I do want to add a little bit more red around these shadowed areas. I really like having kind of like having that bit of red where the warm light meets the dark. I don't know, I feel like it just kind of adds to it a little bit. Also, we can fix these waves up here a little bit. Put that a little bit darker in there. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I think we did it. As I proceed to keep painting. Sweet absolute super owls. Looks awesome. Thank you, Gecko. Yeah, I was just saying, I think we just say this is it. Because I'm tired of this painting. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too darn bad. Except we're actually gonna finish this one, guys. This is it. This is it. It's done. Looks great. Thank you, Waltzy. Alright, so what does it need? It needs a signature. And then it's done. We're done. We finally finished it. I'm gonna leave this kind of transparent. I don't hate that. It almost looks like it's out of focus. And I think it just works. It is what it is. There's gonna be some parts that don't make sense because it's really not that well composed. I think I should have thought a little bit more about like ending thoughts, guys. I think next time I need to pay more attention to kind of like simplifying the shapes that build up the painting. I think I need to do that. I need to get better at that. I need to study some trees. Lots and lots of tree studies in our future. So I hope you guys like trees. And then also, I think maybe not jumping into painting the sky too soon could also have been beneficial. Like, I think I may have just jumped in a little too quickly on that. I mean, each painting calls for its own, you know, things it's gonna need, its own problems to solve, but I do feel that maybe I should have taken my time a little bit more with some of it. There we go. I don't love the water. I really, really don't love the water. So we'll have to do water studies too. All right, so signature. Where's my tiny little brush? Give me my smallest one I got here. I think I'm actually gonna do it slightly lighter. This could be nice. Let's see if this stands out. Watch, this is gonna dry and just be like disappeared. That's okay. We can always re-go over it. Alright, here we go. In for this. Oh, that's a bit big. How do I do the beat? Oh shoot, chat, let me pull out my little booklet again. I know we literally just signed a painting. It should not be this hard. No, that's not it. How long ago did I do this? You know what? I think I drew it in the back of the book. The front of the book? Oh, the front. Okay. That doesn't look right. Well, this is giving the paint time to dry, so that works out. Y'all remember how I did the bee? Hold on, let me pull up my other painting that I literally just finished. Because I took a picture of it. Here we go. Oh, I see. Okay, here's what I did, chat. I kind of curved the back of it. And then I curved the K. Boom. I'm gonna date it too. I think I did that on this one. Yes, I did. All right, let's see if I can make this really small though, because we made the date huge on the other one. What is today? The 19th? Okay. 26. Boom. Guys, we did it. Whatever we do next is hopefully going to advance our skills even more. All right, so let me think. Sitting back looking at it. Let me straighten it out for you guys so it looks nice. Ending thoughts. We need to paint more trees, obviously, right? I need to work on, I keep saying we, I keep talking like third person. Well, we're gonna be doing it together, that's why, guys. I'm gonna study trees, and I'm gonna study some water too, because I feel like I really kind of let myself down with the ocean here. I've done better years ago painting water, and so I think I need to watch some tutorials again on simplifying and kind of grouping shapes. I feel like this painting was a good indicator of what I need to learn to keep improving. I also feel like I need to work on how to layer gouache paints. Even just using the medium is still a bit challenging for me. I really would like to get better at that. Guys, I keep looking at the skyline and you know what? I'm gonna leave it because if I'm standing like 6 feet away from it, 10 feet away from it, however far I'd probably stand looking at it on the wall, it's gonna look fine. So sorry about the noise, guys. All right, what's the other thing I was thinking about while I was painting this? I think There was something else, guys. Aside from just the everything being a struggle, I think what I want to do too is kind of study more impressionistic style artists. I think we need to do that too. We should have did that from the beginning, but I think that's what it is, chat. I think Velvet was talking about it last week. When I started trying to like repair the trees, they were saying, oh shoot, this staple just broke. Or not staple. I just broke this. What are these things called? A pin? No, it's not called a pin. A tack. I broke the tack, but that's okay. I'll pull it out with the tweezers later. This needs to properly dry anyway. Some of the paint is actually still wet. But I think gouache is gonna be my gateway, guys, into impressionistic style painting, because I absolutely love impressionistic style painting with oils. But like, I can't paint with the oils in my room. It's too much to clean. It smells, right? But I feel like the gouache, if I can get a good idea and like handle on how to layer it better, I feel like the gouache is gonna give me the ability to kind of like replicate that oil style, but in a much easier way to clean, and yeah, it doesn't smell like anything. So, and another perk, like we were talking about how canvases are so expensive. Like watercolor paper, granted, can be expensive, but like this is like, I would say like mid-tier watercolor paper, and it's doing okay. It's not bad. I think it's plenty for me to learn with. And so I think we're just gonna go with it. So we're gonna learn impressionistic style. That I think is gonna be this like ending of August into September. It's gonna be our focus. It's gonna be, you know, learning how to break down shapes and simplify things, but also take, you know, creative liberties that might kind of make it look nicer. Like I also want to get better at making changes mindfully, like deciding if I really want to add something, if I don't want to add something, or maybe it would have been better if something had been in one section that it wasn't. And so I want to get a little bit better at that, and I think impressionistic style will be really good at kind of making me think about what I'm doing. Sorry, this little edge here on the rock was really bothering me, guys. I better just hide this in my room, or actually I'm gonna hang it up on the wall downstairs. The rest of my family can look at it. I don't want to look at it. Chat, I'm done looking at this painting. Somehow the lighthouse one was so much easier. All right, there we go. Let me give you guys a little bit of a detailed look at it. I know I just pinned it down, but oh shoot, am I gonna break this too? There we go. I really should press it in a book to flatten it. Alright, chat, let's get a closer look at this. I'll also post a picture on my Instagram that's gonna look closer to how my eyes actually see it. I'm trying to think, it might be better. Guys, hold on. It's about to get really, really shaky. I'm gonna try and take the camera off the stand, because I want you guys to be able to see this. Alright, how much extension on this cable do I have? Alright, so hopefully this gives you guys a little bit better idea of what the details look like here. See if I can get a little bit closer. Again, my paper is pretty textured, but like, see how we're almost getting that not watercolor, oil paint kind of style, the way we can build and use the textures that our brushes leave behind. I think this is a really nice alternative to the oil paints that I'm gonna be able to use and do a little bit more easily. Now you guys should also know, I think I'm back on my my portrait painting arc. I've been kind of watching a lot of tutorials. I'm trying to screw this thing back on. All right, guys, 1 second. So we may be doing portraits again soon, which is another good way to really study drawing in general, because getting the proportions accurate and everything is really important with that kind of thing. So I think that's where we're at. But guys, that's it for today's stream. I have to clean up and kind of plan for tomorrow. I'm gonna have to look through my photos, but it's gonna be some with trees. Trees, rocks, or water. That's, I think, what we're gonna do. Again, I'm gonna try and look for one with pretty strong lighting, because it'll be easier for me to, you know, to kind of straighten out the camera a little bit there for you guys. It's always easier to see shapes when the lighting is pretty contrasty. And I think that's a good spot to start when you're a beginner. Alright guys, I will keep you posted on what we're doing on my Instagram. I don't know what is stuck here on the paper. Here's some pigment. I'm gonna take a photo of this and I'll put it on my Instagram story, so you guys can see a bit more of how it looks actually to real human eyes, because it is making this section way too light. Guys, I feel like there's something I wanted to tell you. Actually, we might do digital art tomorrow, because I kind of think I need to show you where I'm up to on the children's book. I'll decide. I'll make that decision tomorrow, I guess. I'll make that decision tomorrow. It'll be like last minute, whatever I decide to do, I guess. That's usually how I work. But it could be the book. I feel like I'm like, I have to check the number exactly, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 80% through the illustrations. So that's kind of fun. Feels good to be like getting close to being done with it, you know? I feel like it's been like the never-ending project for me. All right, chat. It is after 4. I better stop yapping and put my art supplies away. But guys, thank you for watching and encouraging me through this painting process of this very difficult landscape we just did. I will see you all tomorrow, same time. Walty, it was fun talking to you. Thank you for watching. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Hope everyone has a good rest of their Wednesday, and I will see you on Thursday tomorrow. Bye, everyone.